Zach here, reseller, and it's Monday morning, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you everything I sold online in the past 48 hours on eBay. A lot of clothes going out and also one purse. So I'll go through the brands, I'll let you know what I sold the item for, how much I tagged on for shipping, and what I paid for the item. I'll also share with you keywords I used and specifically why I like the brand and why I sell it. So we'll get going. So first item is a Troll Company hoodie. I sourced this up in Colorado about 6 months ago, and I think I did pay up on this like $7 and some change. I was hoping to get closer to upper 20s to low 30s for this, but ended up selling on an offer for $21 plus $7 shipping. And this time of year, being that it's midsummer, sales are a little bit slower, so I'm a lot more competitive with my pricing and a lot more aggressive with my offers. So this guy, because I'd had it so long, was one of those victims that just needed to move. Troll Company is very popular with people that work in blue collar industries, people that do construction work, oil field work, industrial type work. So I tag on all those different type of keywords that'll help get it some attention. And one of their logos is Dirty Hands, Clean Money. I believe that's it. So I always try to put that in the description box, if not in the title. And so nonetheless, it's going out. It's gonna make me some money. So I've been doing a lot of denim. It seems to be denim is very, very easy to source for me in the last several months. And one of the brands that's really moved for me well is Miss Me, as well as Rock Revival jeans. If you can buy into them for the right price, will make you some good money. Now, these Miss Me dark wash boot cut jeans here sold for $22 and some change plus shipping, but I only gave $3 for these at a yard sale just a couple weeks back. Miss Me jeans don't usually stick around for long. I typically like to sell them because they're very popular. I'll put keywords like thick stitch. I'll also put whiskered. If you can see these lines to the front of the thighs, that's the whiskering lines. And so I'll put whiskered, I'll put faded, distressed, I'll put dark wash, medium wash, whatever the tint in the color of the fabric is, I'll make sure and have that in there. And then if the bottoms of them are flared, if they're skinny, if they're slim, or if they're boot, I always try to make sure and denote that. So Miss Me jeans, they just sell for me. They're designer, they're very popular, and they're very expensive to buy retail. And so this is another great brand. This is probably one of my best-selling denim brands for men. This is BKE, or the Buckles Mall brand. And so these are BKE Fulton jeans, and I typically sell more BKE Tyler, Aiden, Alec, Nolan jeans, but I did find these BKE Fultons just a while back, I believe 2 or 3 weekends back. Only gave $4 for them. They did sell for $24 plus $9 shipping, so happy to see them move. I really like the darker wash BKE jeans, and the Tyler jeans tend to sell best for me. So keep an eye out for those if you can source them for the right price. At thrift stores, I have noticed that the BKE jeans are just going up, so I try to source them for much cheaper at yard sales and garage sales, and that way I save a lot of money on my cost of goods. So this item here is just a pair of steel hiking shorts. I actually wore these shorts for almost a year, but they do have an issue. The button snap was not working quite right, and it may have just been due to me gaining some weight around the waistline. That could have had a lot to do with it, but I went ahead and denoted there was a flaw, put that in the title, and then also wrote about it in the description, and just let the potential buyer know that these pair of shorts did have issue. These just sold for $12 plus shipping. Initially, I think I listed them flawed for $14 or $15, and they just really weren't getting much attention, probably because of the issue. But nonetheless, they're sold. Hopefully they don't get returned. If you're usually good about denoting the issues your items have, you'll have a lot less likelihood of getting a return. So just being honest up front is what helps. So this is a Callaway golf polo, and I don't source a whole lot of Callaway golf polos, but what made this guy special is that it was extra large and tall. And when I was in the store and looked up the sell-through rate for Callaway golf polos with extra large and tall sizing, it just had a much better sell-through rate than your average extra large or large. Now, the color on this shirt's not bad. I wouldn't say that it's great. It doesn't have any real fancy print. This guy ended up selling on a 15% off offer for $20 and some change. I did tack on some flat rate shipping, I believe like $6 because it is a little bit bigger shirt. I was hoping to get mid-20s for this guy, but being the time of year it is, again, it's part of the summer slowdown. I just try to stay ultra competitive with my pricing. Now, keywords I like to use with golf are just simple golf terminologies. I'll put golf pro, putting, chipping, driving, springtime, outside, outdoors. And again, those are just keywords that I like to put in there to get more volume of views, to move this item that much quicker, and to help my store stay up and running. All right, so this next guy here was kind of funky. I like to sell a lot of outdoor adventure apparel, a lot of hunting and fishing gear, but this one's a little bit different. This is a rock and roll denim fishing shirt. It's caped in the back, so what it has is that vent, and that was something I put in the keyword description box. But this guy here, I paid, I think $5.99 for it at a Goodwill up in Colorado several months back. This guy sold for $19 and change plus shipping. I did take an offer on this. I think it was probably around 14 or 15% off. So this time of year, fishing shirts are great to sell. And what made this guy kind of special, even though it's not a brand that's probably really well known in the fishing industry, is that it had Aztec print. And so I put tribal, Aztec, Southwestern, Native. I put all of those descriptions to give it, again, a little bit more light, and that helped to sell it. And so glad to see it move. As always, I wish I could always sell everything for a little bit more, but what I do try to do is competitively price my items, and that moves them quicker because I do operate out of my home. I am a smaller reseller, and I do try to focus on higher resale items, so I'm not holding on to the items for a really long time. Everybody's business is different. Everybody's metric and how they run their business is different. So just because I'm telling you how I operate my business doesn't mean that's how you should do yours. I myself took a lot of advice from a lot of different online resellers, and I just kind of made up my own little style based on my space, based on what I had to spend, and especially based on my market and the market and what it provides. So there's all kinds of things to think about if you're getting in to do this, especially full time, but definitely think about the business aspects of it. That'll help you more and help you to make more money faster. So last couple items, this is just a Cowboy Hardware women's pearl snap shirt. This guy right here only went for 12 and some change, plus some shipping, but I only gave $2 for this, and I only bought it this past spring, so I've only had it a couple months, so it's still profit. And again, like most Western shirts, I'll put keywords like rodeo, cowgirl, farm, ranch, travel, and all those different keywords will just help get more attention for this item, help move it a little bit faster. All right, so once again, wouldn't you know it, it's another pair of Miss Me jeans. These are light wash, and these actually sold for a little bit more than the last pair. These went for $24 plus $8 shipping. I tend to price my women's denim jeans down a little bit on shipping just because they're smaller. They are a little bit more lightweight, but don't go too cheap on your shipping, especially if you're doing flat rate. When it comes to heavier items, you don't want to be forking over the cost to have to pay another extra $1 or $2 on every item. Now, sometimes when it's the summer slowdown, when things are kind of hard and sales are not as good as maybe in Q4, I will price my shipping a little more competitively. But with heavier items like denim and jackets, I try to make sure that the average sale is going to be covered. That way I'm not covering the shipping myself. So again, just another pair of Miss Me jeans. I came into a lot of Miss Me jeans in the past couple months. I've just bought a lot of them, and I've came into a lot of them for really good pricing, between $2 to $3, and I really haven't paid more than I think $5 at any garage sale or yard sale for any Miss Me jeans. So happy to see these guys move out, and they don't stay around for long. And so here's another brand. This is BKE, but these are women's culture shorts. These sold for $13 plus some shipping. They probably would have went for a few dollars more, but one of the holes up front was completely missing its fraying from the factory distress, and so it just didn't look quite normal compared to several of the other holes on the left thigh. So I went ahead and just denoted that. I did knock down the price by a few bucks, and these sold within like 48 hours. I believe I only gave $1 or $2 for these at a recent garage sale last weekend. So yeah, happy to have a quick sale. And so the very last item I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to share this with you humbly and honestly. This is a Dooney and Burke purse. Now I only give $1 for this. This purse has some scuffs, some scratches, some marks, and some stains. It did sell very quickly for $29 plus shipping, but it's an item I just couldn't seem to match up. There's a lot of Dooney and Burke purses out there, and this is just one I couldn't find to gauge a price on. So it's quite possible that I probably priced this a little bit low, and those things happen. In my mind and in my gut, I thought about pricing it for about $8 to $10 more. Kind of wish I had, but I could have priced it for more and it could have sat for 6 to 12 months. That's how it goes with me in purses. When I do buy purses, I want to buy them for very cheap, and I want to buy brands like Coach, Dooney and Burke. Sometimes I'll buy Fossil wallets, and I love Pendleton. Those brands just move well for me, seller. You just come to appreciate certain things. So all in all, that's it. Those are 10 sales. I think total, all these items went out for $196. So not too bad of a Sunday and Saturday for sales for me. A little bit slower this time of year. Q4 is coming, so be on your purpose. Keep building your store up. As always, if you like this video, please reach out there, hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe. We'll do it again next time.